Welcome to the Corner Store Talk podcast. My name is Billy Filmore. I'm your host. Today we have my Uncle Ty, Tyrone Filmore. So if you want to give an introduction to the audience.
Hey, how's it going, YouTube family and the podcast of Corner Store? I'm happy to be here with my nephew, Billy Filmore. He asked me for this interview. I'm ready. I'm open. I have a channel. It's called Tyrone Filmore, and on my channel, I talk about how things manifest in this physical reality. So I'm just happy to be on his platform to share my stories on how things come into existence.
As he said, he has a YouTube, Tyrone Filmore. Like, subscribe, and comment. So on his YouTube, he shares his stories about the power of manifestation. Each and every day, he posts his YouTube channels. I'm still catching up on it. So how has YouTube been going so far?
It's a journey, it's a learning process because I never really done anything like this. So I'm continuing to try to put out videos every day, and it's a process. It's like as I'm going along, I'm learning, so I'm just grateful to have the platform where I can be able to record and give the people what they want and just share these amazing stories on how powerful our minds are.
What inspired you to start your YouTube channel? What inspired you to share your stories of manifestation?
My true inspiration comes from God, Jesus Christ, my Lord Savior, and the journey that I went through in life, ups and downs, and to be able to see it is a special gift that God had put inside of me. I knew that it was my purpose when I was younger. I just didn't fully understand how to put everything in together, just as a child asking questions, how did this happen? Or, different events that comes into your life. I've always been that type of person asking God as a child, like, God, I know you allowed this to happen, but give me the understanding on how it came into existence. So that was my first starting point, and understanding that the things that I was desiring, it was just coming into my life. It was just amazing. I come from a very big family, and I'm grateful to God that, I had two loving parents, but not all the time. We didn't have the money or the resource to get some of these things. And I was manifesting these things without money and just putting my trust in God. And then I guess that was the building point on telling myself, like, wow, God is really providing like these material things in this world without me even having the resource, like the money to buy it. I can remember when I was in third grade, I see everybody in the neighborhood had bikes, like a regular bicycle. And I'm just saying this in my heart, like, wow, I want a bike, And, I used to ask my parents, and, having like 8 or 9 of us, it was kind of, challenging to get each person in the house whatever they want. So these things started to happen. I remember in the third grade, I went to my friend's house, Lewis. I go in his house, he have like 3 bikes hanged up upside down on the top of the ceiling. I was like, wow, all these bikes are yours? He's like, yeah. He like, you want one? I was like, sure. And that's how it started. Everything that I really wanted started to come in different forms. And as I got older, I pieced it all together, and I started asking, gotta be a secret. I know God is providing these things for me, but it had to be a secret until I've seen the actual documentary, The Secret. And that's when everything opened up for me.
What motivates you to keep grinding and moving forward?
My motivation is to share, because there's a lot of people, we live in a world with different challenges, and a lot of individuals don't know the secret we are all using this secret every single day of our life. You know, is either the individual is giving itself something or is taken away. And they never taught us. You know, you'd be surprised that if you enlighten someone and open another realm of thoughts, it just that's the motivation all by itself. Once whoa, wow, it really is a hidden agenda to keep this knowledge and this secret from us. So that's what motivates me to share with the world, you know, because as I'm walking through this world, I say to myself, I'm you, you know, or if I know I have this knowledge, I would want someone else to know this knowledge so they can enhance their life and uplift their life. And, you know, life can become a lot better on all levels once you understand how it come into existence.
Can you tell to the audience members, what is manifestation?
God created one power. There's only one power. It's either give it or take it. And everyone is hooked up to the source, which is God. You know, they put on the format, you know, the law of attraction. And the law of attraction is like attract like. We doing this every day of our life. Every single day. You having this inner conversation with yourself. You either giving something to yourself or you taking away. And it only works by truth. The truth is creates everything. If you look back on all the failures or all the happiness or all the great events in your life, if you go back to your original thought, you have to ask yourself, what was the original feeling that I was having inside of me? And once you start to break those pieces down, going back to your original thought, that's the first process of learning yourself and understanding yourself. Like, whoa, I was in this mood, and it created some way, somehow, an event. So manifestation is your inner conversation, your truth put together. Once you have that inside of you, everyone is hooked up to God. Every single one. God is in every single person. It doesn't matter if a person is doing good or bad. Here's your truth, and God true desires to give us our desire. So once it here's your truth, it links you to whatever you focusing on. It will communicate this information to another human being, and y'all cross path, and then it can either be on a taken situation or a given situation, depending on how you feeling. That's manifestation all in a nutshell.
So in some of your videos, you talk about the law of attraction. What is the law of attraction?
The law of attraction is life in general. Jesus Christ, he's like I said, he's my savior, and I believe that he's the Son of God. You know, and all throughout the teaching, it's so weird that in the Bible, he to all the secrets. He was telling a person, okay, how can I put it into words? I think it was one part in the Bible, and I guess these people or the Pharisees was having these evil thoughts in their head, and then he'd come out like, don't be entertained with those thoughts, because your thoughts are is either can be coming from a powerful like God thoughts, or it can come from the enemy. So the law of attraction is is those that have whatever you thinking on, whatever you focus on, whatever you put your attention on, is going to give it to you. It doesn't discriminate on anyone. So the law of attraction is one power, one power. If I sit there, just give this example. Let's just water bottle. If I sit here and I imagine like, whoa, I love this water bottle, but I don't have money. I would like to manifest more of this water bottle. So if I sit there and use my imagination and say, think of, just become a child. If I sit here and say, I would love for this water bottle to, appear in my life in the thousands. And if I put that in my heart, strange events going to start happening. Strange events going to start happening that is going to start coming in the thousand without you using physical money. That's the having part of it. Now, is also if another individual sit there and say, "Oh, I want thousands of this water bottle," same method, but I don't think I can afford it. I don't think it's going to come to me. I don't think this would never happen. And then here's that truth. And guess what? It's going to cause an event that swipe away that thousand of water bottles. So here you have it. One individual is thinking on it can come to me by getting lost in the imagination, or you get the other person that's not doing it, and then it given whatever truth. So that's the law of attraction. Those that have more should be given unto them. Those that don't have that which they don't have, greater should be taken away.
All right, so now Tyler's gonna share like one or two stories about how real the power of manifestation is. So I was watching YouTube, the first video. You want to talk about like the first video, how you forgot your wallet and you have your ID, and you got into a building. Let's see. Just tell the viewers about that. Right here.
Yeah, so I made yes, my first video on, I believe the topic was how to change your life within 5 minutes. How can you manifest, I guess, your better life within 5 minutes? Every, I walk with God, and I understand the God language. Once you find yourself as an individual, you will understand the God language, because all in the Word it tells you, it gives you all the secrets. So, like I said, as a child, I always had put my fully trust in God. There's times that, you're not fully 100%, but I actually, walk with God and I understand how it works, and it takes, you have to practice every day. You get a lot of church people, or not even church, I wouldn't even call it church people, but they would say, oh, I believe in God and I have trust. But what is that truth really doing if you don't have it? It's not going to activate, because God is truth. He's not going to go against itself. The spirit not going to go against itself because it's truth. So by me losing my wallet and sharing that amazing story, a lot of people, they will look at the physical, and all throughout the Bible, it tells you, have faith. Don't look at the physical. Walk by faith and not by sight. So they taught us to walk by the physical. So me practicing every day, when that story happened, when I didn't have my ID and my coworker was telling me go back into the building and let the office know, and I was like, no, God's going to get me in this building. And the events happen. We get to the part, and it was just an amazing story that I ended up knowing someone, and he let me in the building, that we went to junior high school together. It was an amazing story. So if you never heard it, definitely go to my YouTube channel, and that's like the first video I have posted. And amazing story.
He's gonna talk about another video. We're gonna talk about the video how when I was younger with you and Uncle Ernest.
Oh, so that's when that video, I believe, is called Two Guys Was Trying to Rob my brother. Two guys were trying to rob us, but God stopped them. So that was the defining moment when I understood. I believe I was 10 years old when the two guys were trying to rob my brother, and my brother just gave his life to God. And when that happened, when I seen the full manifestation, the guy went to put his hands into my brother's pocket, and my brother surrendered and called on, start praying. And then the guy started break down crying in that moment. That's when it was the beginning process of me seeing the full manifestation of God. I mean, that was the beginning. When I seen it in full actions. See, there's a difference when you talking about God, but when once you see it with your own two eyes and fully understand it, everything opens up inside of you. So that was the beginning point for me to trust. And ever since that day, I always put my trust. It doesn't matter if I'm in a worse situation, you gotta understand the process. So that was the beginning, right? And just to share one little short story on how that I understood fully the full manifestation, is not really an important story, but I always tell. I remember when I was like 19, I was working for Summer Youth, and it was a person that I wanted to see. And physically, I remember me and my best friend, which is Pooh, we went to the block to try to see this person, but that person wasn't there. I did everything in the physical to try to see that person, right? It didn't work. But I done something different. I was like, I kept telling myself, I want to see that person. I want to see it. Like, I mean, a stretch of 1 year just saying, I'm going to see that person. And then it fully manifested. I was on the bus. I seen that person. And once I seen it, I knew like, oh, wow, that's how it worked. That was the beginning of me understanding that I had this true power. And then it gave me this understanding, trust the process. You asking for these things, but you want it to happen right away. If you trust that process, it doesn't matter how long it takes. And then once it fully manifests, then you would understand, okay, I was doing all this inside of me and it manifested. So that was the beginning. That was the point where I fully understand that's how it works. It doesn't matter with time or anything. That's when everything opened up for me. And once I understood that, I started applying it after. I started duplicating it in different events in my life. And it opened up.
All right. So before we end, just tell the viewers what you told me, like visualizing yourself winning before you actually win. How strong that feels and how strong that is.
Just to share a quick story, not too long ago, I'm going to show you my sister was with you and y'all was coming back from somewhere, and her name is Tanika, and we always get a chance to talk on the phone on talking about how the power of manifestation is a beautiful, thing that we do together. So she fully understand it now and understanding how things come into existence. And when she was coming with you, I guess y'all must have played like a lotto or scratch off or whatever. And then she was like, Todd, tell them about manifestation. You got to remember that, you got to be in a moment and say you can win. So whatever conversation y'all was having, like, I was like, yeah, Isaiah, yeah, Billy. I was like, it works or so. And then fast forward, like I think a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks later, I seen you in the grocery store. So it brought me back to that. I seen you actually, you had a couple of scratch off.
Like
so automatically, I seen you in the store, the grocery store. I was like, hey, what's up, Billy? And you were like, hey, what's up? So I asked you, do you still work with your father? You were like, nah, I haven't been, working with him since this, everything. And I had the thought, I was like, okay, Billy always the type of person helping everyone. I want money to come to him, being that, I have this thought, I'm like, I know God is providing money for you, but in my mind, I was like, that was like another means of income for coming in to you. So I was like, once you told me that, you know, you wasn't working, I was like, I gotta manifest something so he could get money. Then I go get my juices and stuff, and then I see you playing the scratch off, like in the front, and there's like 2 or 3 people in front of me. So I go to you, I put my hands. I imagine. I remember the whole conversation with you and Tanika and stuff, and then I was like, he's gonna win today. He's gonna win. So I go to you. I put my arms around you. I was like, you have to imagine that you win it. So when you scratched it and you hit it like $50, you like, oh. In that moment, you was like, thank you. He was like, I love you. I love you, Uncle. So that's my biggest joy to share with the world, you know, to show the world how it works and putting yourself winning other than, you know, not winning. So that's all it is, you know.
Yeah, going back to that story. So like here and there, I'll buy like little dollar scratch offs or whatever. So I think I had like $2 or whatever. I see Uncle in the store. I'm like, yo, what's up, Unc? Yeah, yeah. So I had just bought what's that? Maybe $3. Yeah. So I bought a $2 scratch off. I just played for fun just to see. I bought a double crossword and I lost. I was tight. I had my last two. I'm like, yo, let me see if I should play that. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna just play this hit 50. Um, and yeah, I had like two. I bought two hit 50s, and the first one I scratched off. Before I even scratched it off, Uncle Ty was like, you gotta manifest yourself winning. So on my head, I'm like, just scratch him. Scratch it's $1. If I lose $1, it's $1. I ain't gonna go crazy about it. So I'm scratching. The fifth number I scratch, I saw 50. Because normally you play these dollar scratchers, you barely win. You probably win like couple dollars, whatever. Most times you lose. So I scratched it off and I hit 50 off the back. I don't know if you can
That's
see it, but the number 8, lucky 8, I hit 50 right off the bat. And I'm like, oh nah, see, like yo, the power of manifestation. Like, I mean, yeah, you like hold on to that power. See yourself winning. See yourself going far. You gotta hold on to just that power. And just it's a good feeling. It helps me just helps me think like whatever going on, no, you just gonna think about yourself winning. If you lose, no matter how many times you lose or whatever, you get back up and you manifest yourself winning. So that time when you actually win, that joy just feels so much better. So yeah. As the podcast comes to the end, I always ask my guests what are 3 goals you have for the remainder of 20. So what is 3 goals you have for the remainder of 2020?
3 goals that I have: continue, put myself last and put others first. That's a lot of people don't understand that. You put yourself last and put other people first, God will always bless you. So I pray that I continue to stay humble and put myself last and put others first, because once you do that, everything opens up for you. The second goal is to continue encouraging myself to put out this information so people can receive the information and take it in. And, you know, if they lucky, now I wouldn't call it the word lucky, if they apply it to their life, they could see a dramatic change on all levels. And the third is I pray every day for God to continue to keep me humble. Keep me humble. Continue to allow your grace of your spirit to keep me humble, because as long as I'm continue to be humble, then it go back to the second part where I can be able to apply this information, they can receive it. So those are the three goals for me, the remainder of the 2020.
That's a wrap. This podcast comes to an end. As y'all know, follow, like, and comment, and subscribe to YouTube channel Cornerstone Talk Podcast. Follow and like the Instagram Cornerstone Talk _podcast, and down below in the bio I'm gonna put Uncle Ty on YouTube, Tyrone Filmore, so y'all could just watch him share his stories of the actual power of manifestation. Thank y'all for watching. Thanks for the support. I appreciate y'all. And yes, sir. BX.